You're going live now.
Tripod, or are you good?
I think I'm live here. Boom, boom. Okay, how do I go live on this one? Facebook, public. All right, we're starting a live here as well with Facebook, I believe. Instagram, if you can see me. Oh, you can see me. Okay, good. Look, I had to come to the office because I had to get my rolls to go back home. And I said, I'm just going to do it here instead of going, that light up there is probably not helping out a lot. Well, let me go this way. Hang on, let me change the angle here so it's a little bit better. Turn that light off. Then turn the other lights off. Much better. Man, that's like night and day. Let me see here. Guys, we're eventually going to figure this out here tonight. All right, I promise you I'm going to come and spend some time with you guys tonight. I am keeping my word, even though it has been a very strange day, week, but I'm with you. And our friends today are going to join us as well, by the way. Say hello to Martin Luther King, Milton Friedman, Senna, Reza Shah Pahlavi, the man in the blue. I like that guy a lot. Tupac, Lincoln, JFK, Einstein, Mario. You say hello to everybody. We got Mario here. We got Batman, Joker, and Incredible Hulk. Facebook, that was for Instagram. Anyways, let's get right into it. Look, I was in, by the way, let me know what part of the world you're, Mario. You take care. I'll see you in the morning, buddy. Thank you so much for coming in, bro. Can you do me one favor before you leave? Just grab me a glass of water. Yeah, that'd be great. Okay, so Facebook, let me know where you're from. I know we have a lot of people that are in India that apparently it's like 3, 4 o'clock and they're trying to get on as well. And so if you made it on, because I know I'm late myself, 42 minutes, that's on me. But let me get right into it. So get ready for your questions. I kind of just want to know where you're from. Indiana, Arizona, Shauna. Okay, we got Inspiring by Sheik from Indiana. We got Germany, Berlin. We got a lot of people here. Almaraz, Terrazas, Veronica, Jennifer Jung, Daniel Flores. Okay, good. So look, I was in Toronto the last couple of days, and it was supposed to be a very good meeting. It still ended up being a very effective stop because of other meetings I had. But this last week, I don't know how to put it. Here's one thing I don't like. I don't like, and I've never liked this. Growing up as a kid, in Persian, there's a word called menet. I don't know if there's any Iranians on Instagram or Facebook right now. If you know what the word menet is, and if you know, we got people from Dallas, South Dakota. If you know what the word menet means, please try to explain it in English. I'm going to try my best to explain to you what menet means. Menet means when somebody uses a certain feeling. Thank you so much, brother. You brought hot chocolate as well. Man, you are just so amazing. Let me tell you, Mario's going straight to heaven, bro. I'm just telling you right now. Mario, thank you, brother. So, menat in Farsi means when somebody makes you feel guilty by always talking to you about their problems. And I've never liked people like that. I've just never liked them. Because, and I'll tell you why. The world is already so crazy that all you need to do is to hear problems is turn on MSNBC, Fox, CNN. I mean, if you turn on the news, you feel like it's the end of the world. If you turn on the news, you feel like Trump is the second coming of a guy from Germany, and you feel like, you know, Hillary and Barack Obama are insiders that are trying to take down the country, and you just feel like everything is like just horrible. Everybody's so scared. Oh my gosh, you know, so many different things. And so I don't like menet. I don't want to use my problems to make you feel sorry for me. I just don't like it. I don't like people feeling sorry for me. However, I still don't want you to feel sorry for me. There's a story I'm telling you here on what's going on with this. In the last 10 days, 6 people close to me have died. Okay? 6 people close to me have died. One other one just died earlier today. Okay? She was only 36. I'm going to Canada to visit somebody. And I mean, my wife and I are going to Canada to visit somebody and his wife. This is a very, very big meeting. And I'm going to explain some of the people on the inside that work for me in the company what this meeting is. But the person I was supposed to meet on my way there dies. Okay? I mean, you have to realize I've never had 6 people die in my life, 8, 9 days in a row. And so 2 days ago, I just couldn't sleep. I couldn't sleep. It's 5 o'clock in the morning. I can't sleep. And I'm in Canada. I'm like, I can't sleep. And I got an early breakfast in the morning, and I'm supposed to meet some other people that were coming. And I have like a million thoughts, right? A million things are going through my mind. And so, you know how they say when people go, they go in threes? I don't know if you heard that saying before when they say people go in threes. But this is when people go, people went in sixes in the last 10 days. One was my uncle. One was one of our marketing director's wife. One was one of our good friends from the family, who was a guy that had motorcycles, and this guy was like a cool cat, and he was only in his 40s. That one was cancer. Then this other one was an accident, and this other one was an aneurysm. And, you know, it's just one after another, after another, after another, after another that this is taking place. And so you sit there, and in a position I'm at where everybody calls me and says, hey, Pat, you know, for moral authority, how are you processing this? How are you thinking about this? What are you going on with this? First of all, there's nothing as a leader you can do to feel bad and make the other person feel better off that's going through it. And then I was asking my wife, we're in Toronto, we're walking, and I said, what's going on? Like, what is the deal? You know, what is God doing? Like, what do you want from me? Like, what is going on? Honestly, like, why are you, so many people why in the same 10 days? I've never had this in my life. So I'm a 39-year-old human being. I have feelings. I have, you know, you run a company, you have a lot of responsibilities, but you love what you do. And, you know, you go and you go ask those questions. And so I'm talking to Mario. We're in Toronto. My wife and I are walking. We're right by the CN Tower. And I'm visiting a few people in the morning. We had a very good meeting in the morning. And so what's going on here? And knowing how I'm wired, I want every question answered. I don't know if you're like that or not. I want every question answered. I just do. This is why I'm a skeptic. This is why when I'm debating the chairman of Ayn Rand Institute, Yaron Brook, and they believe in atheism, materialism. They don't believe in God. They just believe in atoms and science and all that other stuff. And I believe there is a creator, but I'm also a skeptic, and I have my doubts. And you sit in positions like this and situations like this, and the only person you can turn to is a man upstairs. We have one of our guys, a good friend of mine, that his baby was born at 24 weeks. He had no idea what to do, was panicking, first baby, all this other stuff. And I called him one night, him and I were speaking. I said, listen, there's certain things that I made a decision a long time ago to not worry about. And it's not easy to do. He says, what is it? I said, whatever I don't have any control over, I can't fully commit to worrying about that too much. He says, what do you mean? I said, look, if you worry about what's going on right now with your baby being born 24 weeks, you have one responsibility. Make sure the best doctors are around. Make sure you pour all your money into making sure the best people are taking care of your baby. You know, make sure baby's mom is in a very calm place, because she, out of everybody, had to suffer the biggest pain. And so no one's going to have more pain than her. So you need to comfort her. As much pain as you have, it's not even close to the pain she's going through. She's probably 10x your pain. So, you know, kind of, you know, you need to comfort her. I said, but you're not God. You're not God. You can't worry about stuff that you're not God with. You don't have to have all the answers. You don't have all the answers. I pulled up this list. You know, I put the title on Facebook, not on Instagram, because Instagram I can't put a title, but on Facebook I can put a title. On Facebook I put a title that says Top 10 Fears People Deal With, right? Top 10 Fears. So I went online. I mean, obviously, if you read the book Think and Grow Rich, and if you haven't read the book Think and Grow Rich, you know, on the last chapter, the 6 ghosts of fear, right? And he said, you take inventory of yourself, see if any of the remnants of the fears are standing in your way. You think and grow rich, because nothing, absolutely nothing, can stand in your way. And when you read this, the 6 fears that it has in Think and Grow Rich are the following. I'll read them to you. Poverty. A lot of you watching this, many of you fear poverty. By the way, a lot of wealthy millionaires, billionaires, if you ask them what they fear the most, poverty is one of the top on the list, because maybe they grew up being poor. So a kid that grew up with a family that had a lot of money, his fear may not be poverty, because he doesn't know what it is to be poor. But a kid that grew up being poor, he knows what it is to be poor. He doesn't want to be poor ever again, so he gets out of it, right? Poverty, criticism, that's very big. One of the reasons why a lot of people don't win in life is because they're so worried about what their parents, their mother, their father, their husband, their wife, their friends, their peers, their cousins, their teacher, their professors, what they think about them, so they don't do anything. Ill health. I had a friend of mine, very, very close friend of mine, who was always worried about getting sick. Always worried about getting sick. To the point where the more I would go and spend time around his mom, I would realize why he was so worried, because everything he would do, his mom would say, be careful, you're going to get sick. Be careful, don't work too hard, you're going to get sick. Be careful, don't do this. Everything was so much, stemmed from his mother to him that he was always afraid of getting sick, right? So ill health, lost love. Some people are afraid of losing someone that they love, not death, but lost love. I love her, she leaves me. I love him, he leaves me. That keeps a lot of people up at night, right? You're afraid of it. Old age. A lot of people are afraid of old age. I don't want to age, especially women. You look good, you're attractive. And once gravity takes over, you know what I'm saying? Like, that's old age. So sometimes like, oh my gosh, I don't look the way I did. Men used to do a double take on me when they would see me. They no longer do the double take. This is why cosmetic surgery and that business is doing so well, because everybody still wants a double take. So I'm going to go keep doing, other things to get that double take, right? And last but not least on this list that he has is death, right? Death. People are afraid of dying. So I asked myself, Pat, are you afraid of dying? Are you afraid of dying? I don't know if I'm afraid of dying. But don't say like you're cocky. I mean, come on. You can't say you're not afraid of dying. I don't know if I'm afraid of dying. I am afraid of not living to my capacity. Today I'm playing with my daughter, Senna. She just wants to be around me, and we're dancing. You know what we're dancing to? We're dancing to, what's that one song? Kiki, do you love me? Are you riding? So you never ever leave from beside me, because I need you and I want you. This whole song. So I'm singing to her, and we're just dancing, right? And we're just going, we're dancing, and we're doing the whole thing, and we're going back and forth, and we're having a good time together, her and I. And my sons, these kids, one of them is just an absolute monster of a strong kid, a 4-year-old. He's just, everything about him is like, da, 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 da. And the other one is a thinker, telling always stories. Like, you know what? I think my oldest is so creative, he can make movies and tell stories. I think the middle one is going to be a great athlete, and he's just, he's a Libra, so his wiring is different. The oldest one is born same time that Reagan was born. He's a February kid. My youngest daughter, she's a Gemini, May 27, so she's very creative, and she's going to be wired in a completely different way. But I want to see these guys as things become a reality, right? But I look at my dad. I tell you a crazy story of my dad. This man smoked 2 packs a day, cigarettes for 30 years. And he drank. See this? This is water, okay? Ori. Armenian, we say ori. Again, I'm speaking a lot of different languages tonight. Ori, right? He would sit there and he would listen to O capito te ti amo quanto vis. If you know that song, he would listen to that, and he would listen to, Oh, je t'aime italiana, oh, na 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 na. He would listen to this, right? And he would drink his drinks every night. Every night he would drink his drink. And he had a severe heart attack at 44. He had a massive one in 1993, and the doctor said he's going to live 10 years. 1993, the man was 51 years old. He was going to live 10 more years. The whole heart, 50% is black, all that stuff. He's 76, still alive. So what is a man upstairs doing? 6 people in a span of 10 days. Like, what's going on here? One of them was his brother, youngest uncle I got. He died at 66. My dad's 76. He did more than any one of his siblings. He's still alive. The other fears I pulled up on this side, I pulled up fears. Chapman University every year does a survey on the biggest fears people have. Now, this is a different list that they come up with. So this is not the ones I just said. It's not like, hey, the biggest fear is death or all this other stuff. Let me put it at this angle so I can pull this up, because you got to see this. This is pretty interesting. I keep putting the wrong password in. Number one has to do with top American personal fears ranked as Chapman poll number 1, walking alone at night. That's a fear. How wild is that, right? Second one, being a victim of identity theft. Okay, safety on the internet. Being a victim of a mass random shooting. Public speaking. By contrast, the top 5 things Americans are worried or concerned about are having identity theft on the internet, corporate surveillance of internet activity, running out of money in the future, government surveillance of internet activity, becoming sick. You figure this guy wrote the book Think and Grow Rich how many years ago? 1930s? So a lot has changed. Then separately, the researchers polled a sample to determine the most feared natural disasters. Number 1, tornado, hurricane, earthquakes, flood, pandemic, major epidemic, power outage. Interesting, the fears that we have. Some is public speaking. We come back, we're flying back. Obviously, it's a heavy, heavy week, right? And I'm speaking right now. A lot of people are in the company that are also listening to this. One end, you got to have compassion. You got to realize that pain is real. Loss is tough. It is not easy for anybody involved, especially the person that's directly involved. You know, directly involved. It's not easy to go through it. So you got to feel for it, right? My dad, he didn't make it to his brother's funeral because he went to emergency room the night before at 2 a.m. Think about how much pressure that is. He's like, 2 of my brothers passed away, the youngest one. He's the middle one, and his oldest sister, the only one that's left, he's there, 2 years older than him. What thoughts is he having, right? Here's the only thing I can give everybody that's listening tonight that I do. And again, I want you to understand, I don't like Mennat. I don't like people. Like, I don't want people to come tomorrow and say, I'm so sorry, I'm so sorry. There's a lot of stuff going on in the world. You know, I got a call and an invitation to go to Israel on a political trip that has nothing to do with anything but the Assyrian community to be extinct. And, you know, the only ally that's being found is to, you know, some other countries that we're going to go sit down with, and they want influence from around the world. And I'm going to play a role for this in a complete different way, and we'll see what's going to take place with that and how we can contribute. That's real pain, because hundreds of people are getting killed on a daily basis right now. I'm not trying to compare anyone's pain and minimize anybody else's. Pain is pain. Pain is pain. You got to control what you can control, and anything you have no control over, you can't spend a lot of time worrying about it. And I learned that from my dad. My dad, when his mother passed away, he said, you're not going to see a lot of pain from me. I said, how's that even possible? He says, you're just not going to see it. So look, again, today's message is not going to be a message where it's like, hey, let's go conquer the world. You see me in a Rolls Royce. You see me in nice cars. You see me in a 15,000 square foot home. You see me traveling all over the world. You see me, oh, Pat, you're making money, you know. I searched his net worth the other day. I searched this the other day and all that. You can't even believe half the stuff, by the way, online about net worth and all these other things. But yeah, Pat, I know you got money. Somebody told me you're worth 200. Someone told me you're a billionaire. I'm not a billionaire. Whoever told you you're a billionaire is just making it up. I am not a billionaire. Someone told me you got oil money. I don't have oil money. My dad's a 99-cent store cashier. You think if my dad had oil money, you better tell me today. I need to know he had oil money. Am I worth a few $100 million? I don't know, but I have money, okay? But I'm going to tell you, the human side like this is what you don't see a lot. You only see, oh my gosh, my wife and I never argue. Our life is great. My health, I have no problems. I'm great. Cancer doesn't come to me. I give cancer because of this. All that's great, and then we're human beings, okay? And then we're human beings. And everyone's a human being. No one is expecting you to be a god. No one is. But at the same time, every family needs somebody that's willing to be the strength, be the backbone. But even that person, I told this to the guy that just lost his fiancée. I told him, I said, listen, man, you can't explain what it is to lose somebody you love, especially the girl that you're going to marry one day. I said, you got to cry as much as you can. Life is life. So, moral of the story tonight, everybody watching this, I guarantee you, if I told you to put your problem here, everybody would post a bunch of problems on the comment section. Everyone's dealing with some stuff. Everybody. Everyone's dealing with some stuff. You are, I am, everybody is. And to everybody, yours is the biggest. Right? To you, it's like to the person that's going through is the biggest. But what's gained me sanity to go through this stuff, I've always brought it back and said, whatever I'm going through, Nothing is more painful than somewhere in the world a parent lost their child that they could have done something about. That's painful. You know, I try to get to that state to be able to control my own pain. Now, loss is a different story. Loss is loss because it's permanent until, you know, depending on your faith and what you believe in. But anyways, so tonight's message was a little bit more about fears. I don't want to go be a downer with you, but I think sometimes we need to talk about this kind of stuff because life is life, you know. We don't talk a lot about this stuff, and I'm not giving it to you from a standpoint of feeling sorry for anybody. I don't want you to feel sorry for me. I have a very good life, believe me. To me, I feel like the last 27 years, 28 years since I've been in America, I've been on vacation because I used to live in Iran. We got bombed on, God knows, at any given moment. And I lived in Germany at a refugee camp. I got stabbed as a kid at a refugee camp. I got a scar and all this other stuff. And to me, you know, America, to me, I'm living in heaven. So I keep saying it's heaven on earth. So don't feel bad for me. I'm good. I'm good. I'm good. So, anyways, having said that, let's go to some questions. I love you as well. I almost wasn't able to do it tonight. Right now, it is 10 o'clock. I'm at the office. I still got to go home. I got some work to do. And then I got to be here again tomorrow at 6 a.m. But I wanted to make sure I kept my commitment to you guys tonight. Okay, so guys, I'll do a few questions. Avo John, we got you on the call, on the live as well. Good to have you here. So I'm going to go questions, Instagram, Facebook. Last time I think Instagram rocked it with questions. Facebook, you did good, but I think Insta was just on fire more than Facebook was. So whatever questions you got, whatever you want to process, let's get into it. I'm here for you. I'll give you 20 minutes, and then I got a call to head out of here and get out of here and get home and to be prepared for tomorrow. So anybody's got any questions, pose your question. We'll go from there. All right, let's see what we got. Money Smart Dummy, can't wait to see you in Vegas. I can't wait to see you in Vegas either, by the way. Vegas is going to be great with Kevin Hart and all that stuff. We're going to have a good time. What is your biggest motivation in life besides helping people? What is the biggest motivation in life besides helping people? My biggest motivation right now is try to drink water without spilling water on my shirt. Anyways, okay. So what is my biggest motivation in life besides helping people? Some of them is much deeper. And I'm not going to get into that part. Like this painting, a lot of people ask me and say, what's this painting all about? You know, a lot of people don't notice in that painting, there's a seat, there's this chair that's empty. Who's sitting here, right? Why is there a Valuetainment logo down there? Why is there Marcus Aurelius and Cicero back there? You know, why is it that there's a Republican president, there's a Democratic president? Why is there a, you know, brainiac math guy that believed more on the liberal side mathematically as a socialist? And why is there a Milton Friedman Nobel Prize winner that's on a complete opposite side? Why is there an African-American Martin Luther King who made an impact in his own way through peace? Why is there an African-American Tupac, whom both I admire a lot, who had a complete different approach with his music and his art, right? This painting back here. You're probably not going to know the whole story of this painting until probably 5 years from now. I finished the book. Hang on, matter of fact, I'll show it to you. Do you love me? Okay, it's on the other side. Okay, all right, so I don't have it in. It's in my other safe. I wrote a book that is 96,000 words, and it's a fiction book. It's not a nonfiction. It's not a business book. I'm about to launch a business book with Simon & Schuster that I am so excited about. Man, I am so excited about because it's all about how I process issues. The system on how I process issues, we finally spent 40 hours in a room and we just came up with a system. And finally, that book's going to be able to be handed to somebody, say, here's how you process issues in boardrooms, crisis situations, chaos, all good negotiation. When do you over-negotiate? When do you not over-negotiate? Who do you recruit? How do you every single thing about processing is going to be in this book. I'm excited about that book to come out. But the other book is going to talk about the vision. So my motivations, once you read that book, it'll be very clear for you what the bigger motivation of my life is. Currently, right now, I just want to make sure between now and the time that I have in this world is for people to realize the power of capitalism. And for people to realize that everybody is a capitalist, naturally, everyone's a capitalist, but we're sometimes being confused by social media and the media that we're not a capitalist, we're socialists or communists and all this other stuff, but everybody is a capitalist, except someone's got to tell the story properly. So I'm going to be screaming off the top of my lungs till the end of times about capitalism. Anyways, next question. Next question, as a mogul entrepreneur, do you carry the same fears as a mogul in the entrepreneur industry? Do you carry the same fears of your, I don't see the other side. So Don, if you want to post the other one, I'll get to you. Without fear, for a person to constant battle within. How do you get started in public speaking without fear? If you're an introvert person, how do you deal with public speaking? You know what? That's a great question. This is what I'll tell you. The biggest advice I give to people when it comes to public speaking is the following thing. If the best speakers that connected with me did the following thing. They spoke to me as if there was only one person in the room. Only one person in the room. So let me give you an idea. Whenever you're speaking, by the way, if you haven't shared the post, share the post in your page so other people can see it as well, because every single time people come back and say, I wish I knew, I wanted to ask a question, be sure to share this live on your Facebook page so other people can see it as well and hear this message that we're talking about. But the best speakers that I sat there mesmerized after 45 minutes wasn't the guy that was like, for 45 minutes. It wasn't that guy. That guy was impressive to know how fast his brain goes. But that's not everlasting. The people that stayed with me till today were the ones that I sat there. Like, I went to a church the other day here in Dallas. What is the name of it? It's a very, very good church. Here in, what is the name of it? Anyways, I'll think about it here. It starts with the letter W, I believe. So I went to this church, and this guy, his name is JP. He got up and he spoke. And he went for an hour and 10 minutes. I'm like, oh my gosh, and at the end I'm crying. I'm like, what are you crying for? No one was in the room. Now there's 6,000 people in the room, but no one was in the room for me. It was just he and I. And you know how he spoke? Regular. He wasn't the senior guy in the place. He's like number 4 in the place. But he spoke to me. So public speaking is not about being an incredible speaker. It's being able to speak and knowing everybody thinks you're having a cup of coffee with one person, and that one person is the other person you're talking to, no matter how many people are in the room. So how do you do that? Telling stories and act as if you're speaking to one person. Instead of you guys, you. I'm speaking to you, not you guys. You. You're speaking to an individual. You can do that. Doesn't matter whether you're an introvert or an extrovert, you're going to make an impact on someone's life. Okay, question. We went one over here. I'm going to go next on Insta. Getting rid of bad habits. How do you get rid of bad habits? I got videos on that. Let me go on this side here, see what we got. Target, would you ever run for president? I am born in Iran. So unless if they change the law, that's a different story. I was not born here. I was born in Iran. But good question, man. I appreciate that. I've been getting a lot of weird messages like that recently. Absolutely. Do I tell Terrence Freeman? Terrence Freeman's a stud, by the way. How do you choose your first business? You don't choose your first business. Your first business typically chooses you. I want you guys to know that. You rarely choose your first business. For me, my first business chose me. And it had to do with technology. It had to do with websites. Okay? And then I chose the financial industry because that just made a lot of sense to me. It's like your first girlfriend, you know, like when you date a first girl and you got puppy love, you just want to be able to say you got a girlfriend, right? You don't, honestly, like, quite frankly, you don't really care. You just want to say, I got a girl, right? I mean, you don't want to, you're like, dude, look at him, he's got a girl. Like, look, go back to high school and think about all your friends. How many of them had girlfriends? How many of them didn't have girlfriends? So if you had 5 friends, and even if the guy had a girlfriend, but she wasn't like the hottest girl in school, he had a girlfriend. And if the other guy didn't, who got more, like, you know, respect amongst peers? It's just your first business you don't choose. You will choose your second business. It's just like your first mentor you don't choose. You will choose your second mentor. Your first mentor is puppy love. You know, your second mentor you're going to pick and choose on who it's going to be that's going to have impact over your life. And hopefully that's going to be a strong impact that's more than just money. It's somebody that you see the way they're wired, how they think, how consistent they are, how they handle situations, how they address issues. All that happens the second time. First time you want to choose how to be a business owner, go watch the video, How to Become an Entrepreneur. If you go on YouTube, you type in the word How to Become an Entrepreneur, watch that video I did. It'll be one of the first ones that'll come up. Okay, what did military teach you? Armandi Lander, my man. Vic Lander's cousin. What did military teach me? It's crazy. I'm probably going to post a picture right after this of a picture I found recently when I was at my dad's place of me, my drill sergeant, and my dad. My drill sergeant was talking to my dad at South Carolina. And my dad was saying, so tell me about my son. And the drill sergeant says, he was the one guy I had very low hopes for when we started boot camp. He says, why? He says, because he took nothing seriously and you couldn't tell him anything to do. It's just very weird. You couldn't tell him anything. He took nothing seriously. When we said drop, do push-ups, just kind of like a joke to him. He didn't take anything seriously. He said 90 days later, he's one of the best soldiers that we had, right? So what happened there? Well, we went through it. And I look at the picture and I can see the conversation that he had with the other person. I think military probably taught me when it's time to be serious and when it's time to have fun. It taught me about camaraderie, the importance of it. Like, people, when they work together, there's got to be camaraderie. There's got to be a group of people having fun, knowing they want to run good together. It also taught me a lot of skills with women because in the military, man, we just had a lot of fun. Like, it was out of control. So one thing. By the way, I don't want to recommend all the young guys going in the military because of what I just told you about. That's how I was recruiting to the military. Jesus Guerra from Glendale Recruiting Station said, women love men in uniform. Go wear your uniform and go to the mall and see what happens. He was right, by the way. That uniform was like a magnet. But I learned hard work. I worked 80 hours, 100 hours a week. So when you come out, you just don't even know what hard work is. That was from the military. Good question. Okay. Instagram, it's yours. How to recharge. Okay. How to recharge. Let me see what else comes. What industry do you see growing in the coming years? I did a video on that. What else? Let me get a business from me. From being a 19-year-old, how do you become an authority when you're new or your niche? Why don't we talk about that? I like that question. Glenn Branch, what do you do? How do you become an authority when you're new in an industry, right? Rudy Ortiz, thanks for joining us. How do you become an authority when you're new in an industry? Okay. So for me, when I got into the insurance space, we just did a video. You're going to see the 4 C's I talk about in the video that's going to come out. It was an interview that was done. It's probably going to go out next Tuesday. This Tuesday's video, tomorrow's video is going to be the one thing I learned from World Cup. Don't miss that video. That video is going to be a very powerful video tomorrow. Tuesday's video is going to be 10 mistakes entrepreneurs make when they date somebody. That's Tuesday's video. But next Tuesday's video is a video I did, and I talk about 4 C's when you get into a business. Nowadays a lot of people drop 2 words. 2 words are being dropped a lot. One of them is entrepreneur. A lot of people on their profile have, I'm an entrepreneur. And a lot of people on their profile have disruptor. You see a lot of disruptor. I'm a disruptor. I'm a disruptor. I'm disrupting. We are disrupting every time. So I'm a disruptor all the time. So what the hell is a disruptor? Really, what is a disruptor? What do you think is a disruptor? So when you first go in to an industry, 4 C-letter words. 1, do you have conviction of what you do with that business makes an impact on people's lives? Because if it's just money, people will eventually be able to tell. Like for me, first one was money. I could sell memberships because I had conviction at the gym that I knew what exercising could do to you. Confidence, health, energy in every possible way. Personal life, outside, in every way, right? I had conviction. I could sell that. It was easy. Okay, so then conviction to me, selling websites. Yeah, we used to say, Bill Gates once said in the next 5 years, if you don't have a website, you're going to be out of business. So that was our selling point in 1999. That's what Bill Gates said. In the next 5 years, if you don't have a website, you're out of business. So when can we get your $1,500 website set up? I didn't feel it though, right? I didn't see an impact. It was just sales. Conviction. I have conviction in what I do. So you're asking me that question, how do you become an influencer? Number 1, do you have conviction in what you're doing? Let me give you number 2. Number 2 is when you compete in a marketplace, can you actually compete? Right? Can Can your capacity actually compete in the marketplace? So what do you mean, Pat, by that? Can you actually compete in the marketplace? Are you that good where you can compete with the best? I'm not telling you that you're going to beat the people in the marketplace and you're going to be better than them, but can you hang with them, right? Like if you're going to do a 100-yard dash race with 10 other guys that are thinking about going into college, are you 10th? Because if you're 10th, you can't hang. But are you 4th? 4th is you can hang. And the guy that beat you by half a second, right? You can improve half a second. But if you do a 100-yard dash with 10 other guys that are playing football and trying to go to college, you're in high school, and the 9th guy beats you by 3 seconds, depending on the position you're going for, let's just say it's a wide receiver, you're just not going to be able to do it. Not wide receiver. So then I can't hang. So I got into it and I said, let me see if I can compete with these guys. So there's levels to competition, right? Just like basketball. You first go compete with the kids at YMCA or street ball, then you play high school level, then you go college, then you realize you can make NBA, but you have to know if you can compete in a marketplace or not. So number 2 is, you're asking me how to be an influencer. Number 2 is, are you even a person that can compete in the marketplace with everybody else? If it's real estate, insurance, finance, engineering, technology, whatever it is, right? Number 3, let me give you number 3. Contributing to the marketplace. You got to contribute to the marketplace. Contribute to the marketplace. So how are you contributing to the industry? Well, Pat, I don't need to contribute to real estate. Of course you do. But why? I mean, I got them up to make money. Why do I need to give back? Well, if you want to be an influencer, you got to contribute to that marketplace. How are you making it better for everybody? Are you making it better for everybody? Are you? That's how you become an influencer. And the last but not least, to become a disruptor, if you choose to do that, it's not for everybody, is challenging conventional thinking for everybody involved in that marketplace. What do I mean by challenging conventional thinking? Do people in the industry all of a sudden get a little bit rattled with you, like, why is he saying that? This is how it's always done. I just don't think that's how we ought to go moving forward. But this is how it's always been done. I just don't agree. In the conventional, traditional industry, like we're going through right now, and I get hate mail. I get, people send me some strange letters from anonymous, and I get people that create fake Facebook profiles, and they go out. I've been called patrickbetdavid. I've been called the strangest names. And by the way, nowadays, it's so easy to figure out when people create fake accounts. And some of them, I know who the fake accounts are. I just don't tell anything to them, because you got to make sure you talk to your enemies, and you're not scaring your enemies, because you tell your enemies a lot, then they're going to be scared of ever talking to you. Your enemies got to feel comfortable to talk to you. If they don't feel comfortable talking to you because they know how you feel about them, then they're not going to divulge any information to you. So I have some enemies that call me, and I know that they create fake accounts, and I know that they say stuff, but I'm still talking to them as if it's okay. But I know, right? It's not hard nowadays. Fingerprint. You leave your prints everywhere nowadays. So going back to it, you want to be an influencer? Number 1, do you have conviction in the product you sell? Number 2, can you compete? Can you actually compete in a marketplace? Are you that good? Number 3 is, how are you contributing back to the industry you're a part of? Number 4, what areas are you challenging to make it better? If you are, good for you. If you're not, maybe you got to go through your step. And you're watching this, you may be at the lowest level, and you're trying to come up. Then that's a different story, because guys, people ask me, what influencers do I respect? Okay? I respect everybody. This isn't like I don't respect this guy or that guy. I respect anybody, because nowadays, if you can go out there and create content, you can create content. Let me tell you what I respect the most. If you're trying to sell me on an area that you're an expert, that you've never done anything on before, but you read 17 books and you're trying to tell me that you're an expert now, you're no different than me going to a professor in school that's telling me how to run a business that's never ran a business before. I have no desire to do that. Zero. The reason why Valuetainment did good is because I had a guy that came here who does $400 million per year. He came to interview me. And he says, Pat, I have to tell you this. He's 15 years older than me. He says, I have to tell you this. There is no channel better than Valuetainment in the entire world. And I hate to say it, because I'm also creating content. I have to say this to you. And I said, well, I appreciate it. I said, tell me why. He said, because there is nothing that you're talking about, stuff that you haven't experienced, that's a theory to you. You're talking about experience. And everybody who's watching knows it, because the brain can't, say this stuff that you got from a book, if I'm just quoting people, such and such person once said this, such and such person once said that, well, then I'm becoming a professor. That's a different style of teaching, which is still effective. But the people I like and I watch are the people that are building a business. I don't have to agree with the way they're building a business. But if you're running a real bit, like you have an office, you go to office every day. There's a lot of influencers now that they don't have an office. They just kind of make a video out of their house or out of this place. They don't have an office. They don't have employees. You don't see them in work environment. It's just always the dream. I want to see work. I want to see that you're actually running a business today. That's what I want to see. So if you want to be an influencer nowadays just to kind of be cool and have other people in the streets and airports take pictures of you because you want to be a guy like that and be in circles of, I don't care to be invited to speak at these different events that people are having. I don't care to be that. I'm not trying to be a motivational speaker. So if you're really trying to be an influencer from a good standpoint and from a place of let me go win first, then I want to gain and earn influence the proper way because that's a deep-rooted influence, more power to you. If it's just to be cool, to get other people that take selfies with you, I hate to say it, it's very shallow. Okay. I'll do one more question here, and I'm going to wrap it up. What time we got? Yeah, I'm going to do one more question here, and then we're going to wrap it up. I'm hoping Facebook can come up with one good question. If not, we're going to go to Instagram, because Instagram's on fire tonight. Let's see, Facebook. What do we have? Andy Corleone. What a great name, Andy. I like your last name, Andy. Andy Corleone. I like that. Are you a spiritual individual, Patrick? I would say I am. What do you do when your wife is competing with your business for time? Okay, let me see what this is. What do you do when you're I feel like I have to choose either my business, when you're a restaurant, or getting divorced. And family keeps reapproaching. See more. Abdil Araya, I'm going to give you a book to read, but it's going to tell you the truth, and it's going to sting. And it's going to be in the first 40 pages. And you're going to know exactly what it is when you read it. And then you're going to send me a message. And you'll say, is this the page you were talking about? I almost want to guess what page it's going to be. It's going to be around page 38, 36, 38, okay? The book is called Beyond Positive Thinking. Beyond Positive Thinking. Very general book cover. Nothing impressive about the book cover. Insane book. You can finish it in one sit down. Read that book. It'll answer that question for you, but it's not the answer you want to hear, by the way. So I'm not going to give you the answer. I'm going to let the book answer your question for you. How do you get your wife to stop claiming your time? Wow, you kind of double dipping, huh? You're doing good. Same question on both sides. How do you teach your kids entrepreneurship? What is your process of the system? Beyond Positive Thinking. Yep. How do I walk away from my successful business for a new successful venture where I do more with less? How do I walk away? Offers a 30 earnings income from 100K, $250,000. Okay. Beyond Positive Thinking. Do you believe the experiences we experience in relationship teach us a lot about what's up? Of course we do. Give me a good question. I want to wrap up on a killer question here tonight. Let's see if someone's going to get it. Whoever it is, I'm going to give you love. What is the next step for Valuetainment? That's an easy one. Once we cross 1 million subs, we're doing our first live conference that I can't wait to meet you. Backgammon. I think I'm meeting with the #1 backgammon player in America to compete with him to see if I can hang. I don't know why you posted backgammon, though. If things aren't going well, give me a good question, guys. Come on. Give me a good question. Let's go home on a killer question here. What books are you currently reading? I got 2 books. One tells the history of mankind. The other one tells you that everybody lies, except how much do people lie. It's an interesting one. Bill Gates' son. Hey, bro, I'm only 20 years. Okay, what is your belief? How does someone work on contributing in your industry? How can you tell if employee will be reliable? I'm going to skip on these questions because I come back to Philippines for a visit soon. I will be. What is the anchor principle that you hold on to during crisis and challenging moments? What I don't control, I can't give it a lot of worry. If I don't control it, I can't worry about it. I can't worry, even though I do. I can't worry about it. What's one thing feels stuck? Yeah, so I don't think we're getting a killer question tonight. So I may have to call it a night. Pat, how do you distance yourself from the 1%? How do you distance yourself from the 1%? How do you create your own personal brand? We just covered it. Watch the video again. Has anyone rattled you before? Many, many times. Many, many times. It's just you get less and less because your principles and your belief system's getting tighter. What's the Pat 20 years from now look like? Man, I can't wait to meet him. How do you get out of it? What is the most challenging thing you face as an influencer? Okay, let's talk about that. let's wrap up with that. Let me see who the question is. Where does your question go? Man, come on, man, I want to give you credit. Rogena, R. Gorena, okay? What is the biggest challenge as an influencer? So let me give it to you. Okay, let me give it to you. Biggest challenge as an influencer. Now, some of you guys may say, but Pat, I'm not an influencer. Let me still give it to you because I think it's still value that you can pick up from tonight as well. By the way, Instagram is on fire. Literally on fire. Man, I love what's happened on Instagram. On how many, can you imagine Facebook? I have 427,000 followers. And on Instagram, I got 255, and I got more people here than I got on Facebook. Pretty wild. So it just tells you what Instagram's doing. What is the biggest challenge you face as an influencer? Let me give it to you. Okay, so here's what it is. Here's what it is. So, music, taste, just remember this. Just remember this. Think about an artist that came out and they were known for making rap music, okay? Think about an artist that came out that's known for making pop, 40s best hits type of music, just stuff that you listen to in the car, not at nightclubs. Think about if a guy comes out and he's doing EDM, right? Steve Aoki, Calvin Harris, Tiesto type of a guy, okay? Think about you come out and you have a certain style of music you like, jazz, Michael Bublé style, or you're I don't know, you have a certain style of music that you play, coconut rice. Anyways, and then all of a sudden, the community sees you as that, okay? And then you see a person that's doing very, very good, and he say, man, I want to go be that. Like Vanilla Ice. When I was talking to Vanilla Ice a couple months ago at his place, he came up as a, Ice Baby. Yo, I stopped, we're collaborating, listen. That whole song that he had. And then he went hardcore gangster, right? Gangster rap. I'm like, what are you doing? And then he went heavy metal type of stuff. I'm like, dude. It's not how we see Vanilla Ice. Now, if you're doing it because you were always a heavy metal guy, you always wanted to find out if you have that, that's fine. But just know, if it isn't you, you're just trying to do it because your advisors are telling you that the market today is hot for gangster rap, you shouldn't do it. Romney should have been a president the second time. Obama almost lost to Romney. Do you know why Romney lost to Obama? Very simple reason. Here's why. Romney, after the third debate, was killing Obama. Killing him. Because of Benghazi, that whole thing was going on. In the fourth debate, one of his advisors, I know this because of a certain meeting I was a part of with the people that were his campaigners, both on Romney's side and on Obama's side. And so watch what happens here. Bill O'Reilly, I'm on a flight with Bill O'Reilly. Him and I are having a conversation together. Accidentally, we're on the same flight together. And he said, it's the night before election time. Okay? And I called Obama's people. And I said, I believe if you don't come on tonight, I don't think Obama's going to be president. And they laughed it off. Like, you're serious? Obama's going to be president. It's a lock. He said, why do you say that? He says, didn't you see the fourth debate? What about it? Well, the fourth debate, Romney became soft. And you know why Romney became soft? Why? Because Romney all of a sudden went away from his campaign because one of his campaign managers told him, you don't do well with single women, and single women don't like it every time you push Benghazi. Don't push Benghazi because we also need the single woman. Romney listened. Romney's not a president. Romney's probably never going to be a president ever again, just because he listened to an idiot that told him that. Yes. So you ask the question, what is the biggest mistake you make as an influencer? Everybody wants to tell you who to be. But if your core principles you teach are core you, I don't care if another guy's making gangster rap. Go ahead. It's not my style. I'm jazz. Or I'm hip hop. I don't care if you want to make jazz. I'm not jazz. I'm hip hop. What do you want me to do? I'm hip hop. That's what I am. It's my style. This is what I do. I'm not trying to be you. Not at all. Because if I'm trying to be you, then I'm another Me Too. And no Me Too becomes a massive influencer. I don't care to be a Me Too. I'm not trying to be a Me Too. You become a Me Too. I'm not a Me Too. That's the biggest mistake of an influencer. So I don't know if that answered your question for you, by the way. And I hope everybody else that's watching this, Julie said, good, glad Romney's not a president. You know, people on both sides will say Romney was probably one of the nicest human beings that ran. But nice people don't become presidents, man. You gotta, unfortunately, anybody that becomes president, they have a little bit crazy in them more than the other guys do. Obama knew how to play games with Hillary Clinton. Hillary Clinton didn't know how to play games with Obama. Trump knew how to play games against Hillary Clinton. Hillary Clinton didn't know how to play the game with Obama. They tried, but they couldn't do it. The same thing goes with Reagan. The same thing goes with Carter. Carter was not good with the games. You know, this goes all the way back, all the way back. So going back to it, stick to your guns, what you believe in. Don't compromise it. Don't try to be 5 other people just because one thing is working now, so you constantly change and change and change. No, if you're going to adapt to improve your game, you do it. But don't try to be everybody else, especially if it doesn't fit your style. Anyways, we covered a lot of things today. What a weird live, by the way. This was a very weird live. But that was a good question, man. I wish I knew your real name that asked that question. Instagram, I had a blast with you guys tonight. Facebook, had a good time with you guys tonight. Am I going to be doing live again this week? I mean, you know, God willing, we'll be doing a Facebook Live again this Sunday, next Sunday that's coming up. I hope you have a great week this week. Tomorrow's video, don't miss tomorrow's video. And Tuesday's video is going to be a very funny one. 10 mistakes entrepreneurs make when they date people. Both of them are going to be funny. I, kind of open up some of the stuff that I do myself on the relationship side. That'll go out on Tuesday. But we will do this again next Sunday, hopefully, same time. Have a great night, Facebook and Insta. Much love from me to you for all the love you're giving me on Instagram. Much love from me to you as well as Facebook. Love you guys. Have a good night. Bye-bye, bye-bye.